He is a legend, one of the most successful fighter pilots in history, the most successful of the First World War. In the annals of his nation's military, he is a hero. But how did he start? Well, like so many legends, it was by accident. This is the story of the Red Baron. It's the spring of 1916. Von Richthofen is a young German military pilot who flies reconnaissance missions in a two-man bomber. His specialty is taking pictures. He's good at it, but this isn't what he wants. He wants to be a fighter pilot, but he's stuck in a bomber. He has no guns, just a camera. And so he flies around taking pictures of the French and British and occasionally getting chased by their fighters. It's not what he wanted, but as they say, all that glitters is not gold. One day, while flying his usual mission over enemy lines, von Richthofen's plane is hit. He manages to limp back to base and lands for a rough landing. Really more of a crash. Out of fuel and out of luck. He's grounded for the next few days. While waiting for his replacement aircraft, he goes to the hospital to check up on his wounded observer. That's when he meets an old friend from flight school, the famous ace Oswald Boelcke, who immediately upon seeing him says, "You're a bloody fool. You shouldn't be flying those bombers. You should be flying a fighter." And with that, the two of them go flying. Boelcke shows von Richthofen how to fly a fighter, how to maneuver and fight in one, how to become a fighter pilot. Von Richthofen was a natural, and he took to it immediately. So much so that Boelcke handed him his Fokker DR-1 and told him to get in and fly it. And so, on his very first day flying a fighter, von Richthofen shoots down his first plane, a French Nieuport. And just like that, the legend of the Red Baron began. But why did von Richthofen become a pilot in the first place? Well, as a child, he wanted to be nothing more than a soldier. But when war broke out between the Germans and the French in 1870, he was too young to enlist. So, instead, he did the next best thing. He joined the German army as an officer in the artillery. But even that wasn't good enough. When he was 18, he transferred to the cavalry. Finally, he was a soldier. He served for the next 16 years, rising through the ranks, participating in campaigns in China and in German East Africa. He learned many languages, including English, which he learned while serving in England as an undercover military attaché. There, he witnessed the birth of powered flight and immediately knew that this was the future of warfare. So he did the only logical thing he could do. He resigned his commission and joined the fledgling German Air Service, where he learned to fly and eventually became one of the best. But that still wasn't enough. He wanted more, which is why when the war broke out in 1914, he immediately volunteered to fly one of the new Fokker D-7s. These were the first purpose-built fighter planes. They had a synchronized 7.7mm machine gun mounted above the nose, meaning that for the first time, pilots could fire it without running into the propellers. And they were fast, very fast. With a top speed of 120 miles per hour, they were essentially the first true fighter planes. And von Richthofen wanted to fly them. But, as we said, he ended up in a bomber instead. But that didn't last long because, as fate would have it, he ran into his old friend Boelcke, who helped him discover his true calling. For the next 2 years, von Richthofen roamed the skies over the Western Front, achieving victory after victory. He shot down balloons, bombers, and enemy fighters. He became the first German ace with 20 victories. He became the first with 40. He became the first with 50. No one had ever done this before, not the British, not the French, not the Russians. The Germans were the first to produce an ace, 5 aces, 10 aces. And leading the pack was the Red Baron. But that's a story for another time. For now, though, let's go back to 1916 and see how von Richthofen got started. Because, as we said, that was by accident. But once he started, there was no stopping him. Want to know more about the Red Baron? Well, stay tuned because next time we'll tell you all about his most famous victories. Or, if you prefer, you can watch this video instead.